Good evening. Today we are going to talk about career. The main objective of this particular chapter is to know about career, what are the factors or what are the choices that affects the career, and it's important that you need to have development or what are the various career management methods that needs to be carried out by the organization. Right? We will also be discussing about an article, right? How career methods, how career influences the individual. Okay, so we'll look into one by one now, right? So when we talk about this career, no, what do you mean by career? So it is defined as an occupational positions, a person who has been there, who has been doing the work in that particular industry for so many years, and employers should support the employees, right? And their career needs, because lot of aspirations, people come to work with lot of aspirations, and it is related to career management. Now careers today are different, with more women pursuing professionals and managerial careers, balancing families and challenges. Now, in previous days and all, only medicine, engineering, and only these two fields were considered to be as for career for people. But now there are a lot of job opportunities, and there are a lot of careers have come up. Right? There are a lot of fields where you can make your career. Right? There was not much psychological contract between the employer and the employees nowadays, right? Since there are a lot of opportunities that have come up. So when you talk about these career, it is related, you need to manage this career. What is career management and how will you develop it? So it is a process for enabling the employees to better understand and develop their career skills and interest. They help in using the skills in an effective manner within the company, and even after leaving the firm they try to nurture it. Okay, so this is specific in nature. The career management is always specific in nature, and it differs from individual to individual. Companies provide career management activities which are practical in nature and they are realistic. Okay, they offer career oriented appraisals and career development activities. So without if any of the companies are not providing the scope, no, you will not be able to get a talented workforce. Applicants, you will not be able to get much applicants. Okay, so it's important that organizations need to develop the career activities, right, which is said to be main. Okay, see, during the time of covid period, right, how do companies and all were able to manage the crisis and all? So people have been using drones in organizations, right? Organizations used to drone because during covid all were shut and people were inside only, so there were no human movement at all, right? That time drones were very much helpful in dispatching the products to the required place. And in case of companies like in US, no, they used to open say a welfare crutches and all, right, to take care of their children. So because there were a lot of people were there for 2 years at home, so there was the professional life and the personal life, everything happened in the same building, right? So now it has been, there is a lot of attachments towards home, so people would like to work from homes even today, right? So in order to bring back the employees to companies, so a lot of arrangements a company has to make, right? So when you look into the career management methods, right, the employer's role, right, is very complex in nature. It ranges from the simple to comprehensive, right? Now what are the various management methods, activities that are carried out by the organizations? Now companies do provide tuition fees reimbursements, okay, and they are very simple, and they also support the employees career development goals. If people are pursuing higher studies through distance education or through part time, right, they'll be able to, the company is funding them, the company is supporting them. Sometimes they are given sabbatical leave also, where where it is a paid leave, where they can go to regular schools in the sense to the universities, to the place where they can continue their education and come back, and based on that, performance appraisals are also said to be provided. Now, in continuation with the tuition fees reimbursement, companies like Sun Microsystems have adopted this, and they've also adopted formal development programs. And career development centers are also run by the counselors. It is on behalf of the organization. Career development centers that are run by counselors. Then IRACE, Infosys, which was it belongs to Infosys, where they run these programs right from 2009. They design the management practices and client priorities. Some companies provide career coaches and offer online programs, right? Now, based on these career, what does the article provides you, right? So now we will be looking into this: advance your career with an individual development plan, right? This is the author, Rita Zender, right, who talks about, she's an HR professional, where she talks about how to focus, okay, focusing on others. And this is said to be a helpful tool that helps you to keep your career growth on track. So human resources professionals know how to pair people with the jobs, match their skills and aspirations. So it's important that the jobs, the skills, the aspirations, and people. So competencies, KSA, knowledge, skills, and attitude, okay, play come into the foray, okay. And you see to that career paths will provide you a lot of opportunities, and you see to that people grow, they advance in their career. So an individual development plan is said to be very much important if you want to develop in your career, okay. So we look into the IDP and IDP. What is IDP? Individual development plan, okay, which was really a helpful tool. That is what the article talks about, right? And it helps you to keep track of your professional growth. Even if you are in the right job at the right company, you are probably hoping to grow, says Mr. Mark, the author of the book called The Career Toolkit: Essential Skills for Success. So, that no one has taught you. Okay. And he is also said to be the co founder in the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So, you need to plan everything. If you want to grow and advance, you need to plan. So, the first step that we look into the individual development plan is that typically it involves a complete questionnaire, okay, that asks about your career goals, including how and when you plan to meet them. So they're asking you for a time frame actually, right? So your career, whether it is a short term career goal or a long term career goal or medium term career goal, so for the next 2 years where you want to see yourself, all those are said to be the questions that helps you to provide you clear cut answers, okay. So you may also be asked to identify your professional weakness, right? Normally we don't talk about the weakness. You know, a particular tool called as SWOT analysis, which is very famous in Masters of Business Administration, right? Which is called as strength, weakness, opportunities, and strengths and threats. Okay, so it also, you may also ask to identify your weakness and commit, and what is the commitment that you will give, so that you will be converting that particular weakness into the strengths and opportunities, right? So generic IDP, generic means very common, right? It does not talks about any specific things, right, are widely available, right? There are no wrong or no right answers for an IDP, individual development plans, okay. So but experts agree that for the process to be effective, your responses must be honest and realistic enough, and regular follow up to ensure that you are meeting your short term goals, right? So short term goals, long term goals, and all that may remain relevant to your long term plan. So how, here's how HR professionals will get most of the IDP process. Now keep leadership and requirements top of mind. So focus your IDP on honing the skills that all HR leaders need. Says Mr. Bradford Frank, a Philadelphia-based partner with recruiting firm Cone Ferry, who specializes in placing HR executives. So you're able to see that leadership requirements. So the skills for leadership also plays a very vital role here, right? So building partnerships with departments, so it helps you to give a better understanding, okay, of the outside human resources, okay, translating business strategies to people strategies. So you can talk about the plans, right? Plans in the previous classes also we have looked into the different types of plans and how management functions have been really helpful, right, in achieving those. So management functions and HR functions come together, and they try to formulate the career development methods for the individuals. So this is from an organizational point of view, or organizational dimension, right? So understanding the nuances of the full breadth of HR disciplines is very much, see, half baked, half understanding will never help us, right? So it's important that proper concepts, the concepts of human resources need to be understood in a very well manner. Then cultivating cultural awareness, especially if you are not, if you are interested in work, to work in large global organizations, especially in MNCs. What happens is that you're able to, you have to work in a work culture, you need to have a very broad mind, you have to have, you need to accept lot of things, okay. So this is said to be an article which is very much latest, that has been public, that has been published in the year 2022 in the HR magazine, okay. So it means that, and the skill gaps, right? So compare your current skills with that, you will need to meet your long term career objective. So you need to match up with your skills, and you need to match up with the where are the gaps, where do you lack, and what are the requirements that is said to be expected. So they establish short term and medium term goals that involves working on projects or taking other steps that will help you to fill your skills, okay. So for example, considering shadowing colleagues in different HR disciplines, attending meetings in other departments, right, help you to learn. See, learning and development is a part of employee development. So that will also contributes to the development of your career. Okay. So for another dimension, we need to, another element that contributes towards the individual career is said to be that your the individual knowledge, okay, and how to handle the business, right? If you are if, sent abroad, right? This particular article talks about the IDP, Individual Development Plan of US people, right? So from US, if the organization sends them outside the boundaries of US to international levels, now how to handle? Now, what are the opportunities that are there, right? So you need to explore them, right? And you need to accordingly take that in mind, okay. So Zimberg aspires as a chief people officer and has been seeking ways to increase. See, organizational culture, country culture plays a vital role here. Country culture, regional culture, organizational culture all plays a vital role here. So you need to accept it. You should possess the ability to handle it. The adaptability part is the most important thing that we need to keep in mind. Okay, so it is so important to learn that working on, so he says that you need to work, you need to learn. So if you're getting up opportunities in MNCs, don't don't miss it. Okay. Then looking out for opportunities. What kind of opportunities? So let us just go into it further. Right. So if you need an additional credential or a degree to move forward, use your individual development plan. Okay, to set goals related to selecting the most appropriate programs, okay, and be creative about where and how you receive your training. So you want, that's why we were talking about coming to regular colleges, okay. So we are in this part, right? So career management, the process of career, and also that that's what this particular article is trying to address the needs. Okay. So when you look into this, okay, so looking out for opportunities. So what are the opportunities that are there for us, right? In case of careers, the main objectives is you need to know your career management, you have to learn about career planning, and you should possess knowledge about the employee development. So that's what the ideal. So the article also states about the ideal. So what is ideal? Individual development plan. So that's what we were discussing now, right? So when looking into the need for this career planning, do we require this career planning? Yes. Okay. So employees, every employee has a desire to grow and scale to new heights in this workplace continuously. So if there are enough opportunities, he can pursue his career goals and exploit his potentiality fully. Okay, so he feels rightly motivated when the organization shows him a very clear path as to how he can meet his personal ambitions while trying to realize his corporate goals. Unfortunately, we look into organizations do not pay adequate, say, aspect of actual practice relating to this career development. So, what do? The demands for this are really very high in nature. Okay, so if you say that the demands are very high in nature, okay, without the organizational support, will not be able to, the individuals will not be able to carry out. Okay, so what will happen? What would happen for an individual employee for the next 5 years where he would like to see himself? So, an organization does not come in time for a meritorious performance. So, they are linking performance appraisal with that of the career management here. Okay, so the it's important that lot of turmoil would happen if you don't act according to the within the time limit. So every executives will leave the organization. That would lead to attrition, okay, and frustration, and the organization will suffer very badly. So again, the recruitment process has to happen, which will panic. If there are so much of vacancies, it will panic and it will not be very much effective. So the absence of career plan will give a big difference to both employees and the organization. So here it highlights, you are able to highlight if there is an absence of career plan, right? So it means that the absence of career plan means the individual career plan. So that's what we have been choosing this particular article, which provides you lot of insights. Okay, so when you talk about this, now coming back to this, they are asking you to look into the various opportunities. Okay, so be creative enough when you receive. See, go for get proper training. The training that you receive should also be proper and it should be in a proper place. So don't leave the opportunities. Keep on looking out for opportunities. Okay, so communicate. So SH on online platforms, learn for a lot of courses, which is in Coursera. In India, it is you have NPTEL, you have Swayam, you have MOOC, all these things we have, right? So it's important that you need to tap your skills. You have to keep on learning. Learning and development is said to be the primary aspect. Okay, so training doesn't have to be conducted in classrooms. It can be on the job training, it can be vestibule, right? There are a lot of simulation trainings also. I think when we talk about simulation training, we keep in mind about the physics and the chemistry labs that we would have worked in our school days. Okay, so it's important that you need to look into. Okay, so professional skills, you should know what is a professional skills. You need to understand what do you mean by professional. See, you look into, you want to have a skyrocketing jobs, you need to work, you need to be very smart enough, run in a place where you're supposed to run, walk in a place where you're supposed to walk, climb fast. If you are expected, if time period is given to rocket yourself, you have to jump up, right? So it's important that how do you present or exhibit yourself as when your hand in time of need is said to be required. So human resources association, okay, with others play a vital role. Always be a technological lover, right? It means that you have to be technically and technologically good enough, right? So there are certain companies are hiring there are certain veterans, okay, where they will be ready to provide you good tips relating to how to get yourself equipped and what the companies are said to be expecting, right? So get feedback from your through mentoring or through coaching. If you work for an organization, you would have mentor, you would have the concept of you will come across the concept of mentoring and coaching. that you can look into. So that will give you a better insight to your development. So, but do not underestimate the values. Okay, people will tell you. So based on your SWOT, you can compare with your instinct, with your own things. You know about yourself much. Spend lot of time with yourself, assessing your strengths and weakness. That's what I told you through a tool called SWOT. Okay, in the beginning itself. So you will be able to track the advanced opportunities. Okay, then there are people who gives you a lot of advice. Okay, from different levels, asking you to build your skills, asking to be a viable candidates, adaptable candidates. Okay, they give you guidance. You need to volunteer yourself. They would look out, okay, your skills. So the skill sets of peoples are generally maintained technologically because the work should not suffer. So through HRIS, human resources information systems, participate in the projects, sharpen your technical and analytic skill, and give them a chance, to see your strengths, to see your ability, so that you will be the next person to get promoted. So promotions is also looked into. Okay, you can ask for job transfers, job rotation, so that you can learn in different departments. Okay, so following, look into the IDP. Okay, focus on your goals, direct, quantify it. Do not be into quality oriented, but rather be a quantifiable one, right? Develop, and the organization needs to look into the recruitment and as well as the retention strategy. Both needs to be combined. Both goes hand in hand. We have some, say, it's important, right? So learning have become a very important criteria. Okay, so the we have seen, this particular article have provided a lot of insights. So what is that would be is that, so I would like to rewind once again as a gist of points. Okay, getting feedback. Okay, and looking out from organization point of view, and as well as from the individual dimension. When we look into, no, we have, from the individual dimension, you need to have your individual development plan, set your goals, focus, have your time limits. All these are the three important things we have looked into. From the organization point, you're able to look into is that, retention strategies, recruitment strategies, promotions, performance appraisals. Okay, then when setting goals, always think beyond, be creative enough, right? Always think out of box. So that's what your needs, the organization needs, should match up with your skill sets. Okay, so it is important, right? And the individual do not, the organizational objectives should be your objectives. It should not conflict with each other. You will be able to develop in a much better way, right? So goals that reflect the interests, the strengths, the preferred location, and the desired schedule, right, will give you the overall job satisfaction. And this should be playing a vital role in your individual development plan. Okay, there is also something which, it this particular article throws highlights is that, personal and lifestyle goals of the individuals, right? And the organization's interests, the board's management, all these things need to be looked into, right? Employee who is willing to who is willing to, say, come up, the willingness to work also plays a vital role. This is the individual set, okay, for the employees, which would be different. So he will be able to showcase his potentiality. So another article from, the Journal of Career Development, which shows that career choices is related with job selection criteria and leadership professional preferences, right? This is that bring it brings a, transitional, right? It brings transition. So the study explores the factors. So this was taken among the Turkish university students. Okay, the career choices, job selection criteria, and leadership preferences were the variables studied. Okay, and around 1,213 people of senior and junior management students participated. Okay, from 17 universities, from six different regions in the country Turkey. Okay, so data collection, what did they do is that they developed a skill, they self administered a questionnaire was said to be developed, And what is the findings of this particular article is that the findings is that having power and authority, peaceful work environment, opportunity for career advancements, the younger generation wants career advancement. So we see to that how career advancement have started to play a vital role, and they also expect charismatic leadership was said to be their preferences when compared to a bureaucratic style. They do not want Hitler style of leadership, but rather they are looking out for democratic type of leadership positions. So career choices are also developed by various factors. So in next class, we will be looking about the various career choices. Okay, thank you.